Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cheryl and today I'm here to bring you the Gilmore Girls book tag. Now I wasn't tagged by anyone to do this, but I absolutely love Gilmore Girls. I marathoned it this past few months and I'm super duper excited for the reboot of it, I guess. The episodes that are going to come out Friday. So basically each question is a character's name and it has a question that's associated with like a character trait from that person, and then you just find a book or character that fits it. So yeah, without further ado, let's get into the questions. Question number 1 is Lorelai, a character with a witty or sarcastic sense of humor. And I definitely had to go with Harry Potter for this one from the Harry Potter series. Now this is something that the book definitely did a lot better than the movie. Really didn't put a sense of humor in at all. However, in the books, Harry is very witty, he's extremely sarcastic, and yeah, he's kind of got a dark sense of humor. So number 2 is Rory, a favorite classic. And I'm actually reading this classic for one of my classes right now, and that is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. That's why it's all tabbed up at the moment. But yes, this book is just whimsical, it's fun, it's very different from the movie adaptations. There's a lot of stuff that the adaptations just don't put in. So I do highly recommend reading this if you haven't before, and if you like the story. And the version I have also has like the original illustrations in it, so yes, I definitely recommend picking this up. It is my favorite classic I think I have ever read. Number 3 is Luke, a book you secretly love but are afraid to admit. So I really don't have an answer for this one because I'm not ashamed of the books I read. If I like a book that other people don't like, then oh well, and vice versa. If you like a book I don't like, then more power to you. Number 4 is Lane, a musical character. And I had to kind of stretch an answer for this one, so mine doesn't actually come from a book, but it comes from a manga instead, and that is Sailor Neptune from the Sailor Moon series. She plays the violin both in the anime and in the manga, and she is an extremely talented violin player. So yeah, I know this isn't quite a book, but it is a good series and it is one of my favorites. So yeah, Sailor Neptune's my answer. Number 5 is Dean, your first book love. Now I have a few children's books I can choose for this, but I'm gonna go with the book I really remember like devouring on my own for the first time, like the series that I fell in love with and made me fall in love with reading, and that has to be Twilight by Stephanie Meyer, which I know is probably an answer for a lot of people because this book changed me as a reader. And though I can see a lot of problems that the book has now, back when I read it originally, I absolutely loved it. I couldn't wait to get my hands on the next book. So yes, the Twilight series. 6 is Sookie, a book you've devoured. And a book I've devoured is Queen of Shadows by Sarah J. Maas. I read this book and I think pretty much like 1.5 sittings. Like the first time I read it, I only read like the first like 50 pages, and the second time I picked it up, I read the rest of it. And I do not regret it because this book is fantastic and this cover is just gorgeous. I can't really say anything about it because it is the 4th book in the series, but yes, if you haven't picked up the series before, or if you have but you dropped it after the first book, I highly recommend reading on because it does get better. Number 7 is Jess, a book you love but gets a lot of hate. The book I've chosen for this is Wizard's First Rule by Terry Goodkind. I've talked about this series before on my channel. It follows Richard as he realizes that he's the chosen one and he has to fight the emerging evil in the world. So the reason that this book gets a lot of hate, not necessarily on BookTube because it's not really talked about that much, but I have seen it in other bookish communities, and basically a lot of people have issues with this book because it is not original. There are so many tropes and so many other fantasy elements that have basically been taken from other stories and twisted just slightly to make it unique and put in this one, and as a result, you don't really get anything unique from reading this book. I still enjoy it and I still like the series a lot just because I love fantasy, and then I picked up this book when I was younger, so it has a nostalgia factor for me as well. However, I do understand why a lot of people have issues with it, and apparently later in the series, like much later, way past whenever I read, he gets kind of preachy with his politics and the politics in the world, so a lot of people draw issues with that as well. So yeah, this is a series that I seem to enjoy a lot, but other people seem to not. 8 is Miss Patty, a book that was ruined by the hype. And I have to go with Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by J.K. Rowling and a plethora of other people. First off, I do not think that it was just the hype alone that killed this book for me. I do have other issues with it that keep it from being a fantastic book in my opinion. However, there was so much hype surrounding this book. Because I mean, it's the Harry Potter series. It is one of the most beloved book series that it's ever been published before. So when you put out another installment of it, there's no way that there's not going to be a lot of hype surrounding it because, like I said, it's the Harry Potter series. However, I think the fact that there was so much hype surrounding it and the book was just overall so disappointing that it was just a recipe for disaster, in my opinion. 9 is Emily Gilmore, an expensive book. So I had a few books I could choose for this, but I decided to go with my copy of the Brothers Grimm stories annotated. It's so pretty. It's so pretty. And I know it wasn't cheap, but yes, I absolutely love these stories. They're my favorite. And the last one is 10, Paris, an uptight character. And the character I've chosen is Nesta from the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. Nesta is the main character, Feyre's sister. She's definitely uptight. She kind of has her values. She sticks to them. She doesn't want anyone else telling her what to do. She's very independent. So yeah, I think she's a perfect fit for this character role. So that's the Gilmore Girls book tag. Definitely let me know down below what your favorite Gilmore Girls character is because I want to say mine's Rory, but it might be Jess. I like Logan at the end. I didn't like him when he was first introduced at all. But I don't know. So I don't know what my favorite character is. Let me know yours down below. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!